Welcome to the Boxenstopp
Box
podcast.
Box.
Welcome
I-
to
we
the
have to-
box.
We have to sound slightly off-putting. Box.
Box. Box.
Box.
2 laps late. Box.
Box's lap.
Welcome to the Boxenstopp.
Boxenstopp.
We're delusional. We're delusional right now. Okay.
This is what race 1 has felt like all weekend.
Yeah, literally. Okay. Welcome to the Boxenstopp podcast. I'm Mattie.
I'm Stella. That's all we got. There's
there.
just 2 of us.
Welcome to our podcast.
Welcome.
Okay. Week 1. Race 1. Done. Who's excited? Not me.
No.
But also
I
me.
am. I watched my own volume go to 0. I'm so sorry. I am. Me. I
Okay,
had a
we'll
great
get into
time.
that. We'll get into that. We're not there yet. We're gonna do this little segment every episode called Reading of the Gospel. And what Reading of the Gospel is I find a tweet that I think is hilarious off of F1 Stan Twitter, and I read it for everyone
love
to
the
hear because
gospel.
I think everyone should see this. Okay?
Everyone deserves.
So last week we did it 2. We did it 2 for this week. We're only doing a 1 for. Are we ready for the gospel?
I'm ready.
And we'll also put the tweet on screen. It'll be on screen somewhere. Okay. The year is 2030. You're at an F1 Grand Prix. You look to the left. There's an Alpine reserve driver in the grandstands. You look to your right. More Alpine reserve drivers. Everyone is an Alpine reserve driver. Even you are an Alpine reserve driver. And that is after Alpine announced yet another reserve driver for their team.
Is it 5 now?
So, it is 5.
No.
It is. Okay, so I hoped everyone liked the gospel. Now we're going to get into the actual weekend itself. We're going to go over practice and quali very, very briefly before we get into the actual race because the race was insane.
Yeah. I mean, free practice 1 was also
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it actually.
insane.
So we're not going to talk about it. So Ollie, my sweet boy. My sweet boy.
One, I feel so bad for him too. That crash looked awful.
Bless his heart.
3, I had him on one of my fantasy teams called Matt Wii Sports would win, and it's just drivers and or teams I think would lose to Matt in Wii Sports boxing. He proved his place on there very early on.
Yeah. Lawson hit the wall.
Lawson. Yeah,
Hit the
but
wall.
like he kind
Little-
of
little
he scraped
stinker.
the wall. He scraped the wall.
Yeah.
He didn't hit
the
it.
Williams, no. The Williams looked really good
It did
during practice. So
during practice and during quali. It looked really good during quali.
turn 6 was a struggle.
It
The
was
entire
since
weekend.
it's that gravel
the gravel
trap
pit.
that they added to
Yeah.
help avoid situations, and then proceeded to make everything worse for literally everybody.
I can't remember if it was I don't think it was quality. It was practice. The phantom red flag that came out that no one knew why it was out, and then we got a red flag 5
Yes.
seconds later for Ollie. Yeah, that was odd.
Wasn't
Little
the
weird.
phantom red flag for the gravel that was on the ground from Jack Doohan? Or was that a yellow?
I don't know. I don't think that was. I think that was a yellow. I don't know what the phantom red flag was, but it was there some point. Okay, quali.
Quali.
Okay.
Poor
I just
Ollie.
want to start off by saying, poor Ollie.
Poor Ollie. He didn't even have
really?
He didn't get to set a time, which means that Haas
No.
had to go to the
Pit lane.
Had to go to the stewards
Pit
and be
lane.
like, "Hey, can our driver please drive in this race? Please, 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 please." And then they had to be like, "Yeah, I guess so, but because of X, Y, and Z, he had to start in the pit lane. Did Lawson actually start in the pit lane? I can't remember.
Yeah.
He did?
I don't know why. Why? Oh, because he got upgrades, right?
It was, an upgrade.
Norris pole, McLaren front row lockout, I should say. Front row lockout for McLaren. Max, of course, we knew that he'd be up there. I mean, it's Max. Surprise from the weekend, I won't lie, is Russell. I know he struggled a lot.
Yeah.
On the Melbourne circuit. I know that he did good 22. And he struggled a little bit. I know that he did spin out. I can't remember if it was what practice it was.
2?
But honestly, kind of a surprise. Yeah. The biggest surprise that I was cheering for. Okay. Yuki P5. Yeah.
Yuki
I know that's right.
Tsunoda!
I know that's right. I know that's right. I know that's right. I know that's right. Literally no notes. No, as he should be.
It was beautiful. It was poetic.
Williams looked good.
It did.
We'll just go over who didn't make it out of Q1. Real quick. Antonelli. Hulk. Lawson. Ocon. Of course, and then Ollie didn't set a time.
No, he didn't get to quali.
That's kind of all I have to say about quali, because Ferraris.
You don't wanna talk about your team?
I'm good.
My team was dead last.
I'm good. And
Mine was dead last.
Right now, I'm okay. I won't talk about them right now. It's the small wins. It's the small victories.
Yuki Tsunoda.
That I need to. Yuki Tsunoda. I'm still riding the high. of Yuki Tsunoda.
Between the high of Yuki Tsunoda and the other high from the race, I'm great. I don't know Haas. I love you, Haas. Please love me back. Do better.
Time to yap about the race.
The race was crazy. Starting on a street circuit, crazy.
Yeah, let's dive into that. Okay, starting the season
circuit?
On a street circuit in the rain is a choice. Okay, starting on a street circuit itself is like a choice. Like, I get why, but at the same time, I think Australia should just invest in building a permanent track.
I don't know. I enjoy street circuits. I just don't think starting on a street circuit.
Season opener street circuit is a choice. Also, which they said during the stream, I didn't know this. Did you know that all the street circuits have special FIA approved paint on the roads? So they have FIA approved paint for the roads that they have to use in order for it to qualify as a street circuit. On our regular streets, we have regular white paint, like road paint, and it's slippery when it's wet. Okay, the FIA, there's a special paint that the FIA approves of that you can paint your streets with that lessen the slip of the paint while it is dry and wet, because even when it's dry, it's still slippery on slicks.
It really didn't help, did it?
It didn't help.
It didn't help
at all, because literally the minute anyone's back tire caught the paint, it was fucking over for them. They were slipping and sliding. But I didn't know that. I thought that was a little fun fact that I learned.
Really? That's fascinating.
Which makes sense. It makes sense. But also, how much money did Vegas pay?
So much money. Oh, I could have told you.
Like, how much? Well, I know. But, like, how much money did they invest into just their streets alone to get their race approved? Like that's my question.
Thousands of dollars. Hundreds of thousands, maybe?
Yeah.
But, like, also, that circuit is boring. Have you ever noticed that it looks like a pig? Though. No, like, it's fun to look at aesthetically, like, when they're racing. And I love this sphere.
It.
You like Vegas because that's the circuit that got you into the sport.
That's true.
Like, that's why you like Vegas. I enjoy when they're, like, twisty and turny and, like, more Mario Kart coded.
Let's just get into the formation lap.
Well.
Okay? We're starting. Okay,
hold on.
I just want everyone
Hold
to...
on.
What?
Would we like to address our bingo cards? and the sheer amount we hypothetically could cross off
Yeah.
as our intro to our bingo
Let's
cards.
do that, yeah.
Because that's a
Yeah, let's do
conversation.
that.
How many things
Yeah,
can
that
we
is-
cross
yeah.
off?
You were supposed to do this last week, just wanted to say, but my audio got corrupted and something happened with my audio.
We're just
doing
girls.
it this week.
And you know what?
We're just girls.
It makes a little bit more sense to do it this week anyway, because now we can actually like compare it to a
Yeah.
race.
So, are we gonna do top fives? Or are we just gonna, should we just go over the ones that we
I
could
think
cross
we can
off?
go over the ones that we crossed off, because I think there were a few. We would
Okay.
like to preface, before anything, that when we made these
Yeah,
bingo
they're-
cards, we made these bingo
Yeah.
cards, and the concept of our bingo cards was never to get bingo. We never wanted bingo. We wanted to sit there and go, huh, as we cross something off. The sheer amount of things that the two of us can cross off this week would have probably gotten us bingo. So we've now decided we get one box per race. Unless it's a particularly boring race. So, yeah, we'll have our bingo cards.
Hello guys, I apologize. My audio cut out here, but we're talking about our bingo cards here. So the ones that we can cross off this race: rookie score points, wet race, DNS, tell me why, first race of the season, yes. As well as 8 different race winners. We went over our favorites here for a little bit, and we talked about one of our favorites being Rest in Peace Animal, R.I.P. Animal. And yeah, I apologize for the audio. I don't know what it is, but I think this section's cursed. Okay, anyways.
Is a small part of you hoping you get to witness that in person when we go to Canada?
Yeah, I hope it's not a lizard, though.
Well, no,
Or-
it would be a groundhog if in Canada.
No, I know, but every time
So-
I think of an animal on track, all I think about is the damn
You think of the lizard
that was
that
running,
died.
and the marshal that was running.
Oh, last year's lizard.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do. Last
Okay,
year's
Sam,
lizard
you
that was
can insert
running.
the clip.
Yeah, we'll find it
You
for
can
you,
insert
Sam.
the clip over us. Yeah.
Because it's so funny.
You have a personal fave?
Oh
That's
my
not-
God, Madison!
What?
I have Sauber points.
God damn you.
Go, go.
God damn you.
That's the one that's getting crossed off.
damn
Because
you.
when am I gonna get to do that again? I just
So yeah, also to preface, we're only going to cross off one out of the ones that we got from this race. I have yet to choose. But obviously Stella had Sauber points, as you can see by her green light and her green shirt. For all of our YouTube viewers.
For our YouTube viewers, there's a lot of green happening on my side of the screen. I feel like I should move.
And it is
Kermit.
not for St. Patty's, guys,
No.
by the way. It is not for Monday is St. Patty's. Tuesday is when this is going to release. It is not for St. Patty's. This is,
for Nico Hulkenberg.
even though she Irish as hell, this is for Nico Hulkenberg.
This is for Nico Hulkenberg. I love Nico Hulkenberg. Another top favorite on my bingo list is that he finally gets his podium. Granted, he's in a tractor, but to be fair, when I put Sauber points on there, I was expecting to never cross that off. So weirder things have happened now.
Tell me why it's the first race of the season. Tell me why.
I was really close the entire week. I would also like to preface, my GOAT is Nico Hulkenberg. Prior to that, my other GOAT,
Yep.
just call me 2019 Renault, because my 2 GOATs were Danny Rick and Nico Hulkenberg. So for the entire
It's
week,
tragic.
the entire week that Daniel Ricciardo, we have to, Daniel Ricciardo, Italian, Daniel Ricciardo was in Melbourne for the Enchante pop-up. I just kept texting Maddie, why am I getting closer and closer to be able to crossing off Danny Rick shows up?
God damn it. God damn it.
I think I would have, if he showed up, I think I would have allowed myself to, because once again,
Real. No, literally.
when
real,
are
real,
either of
real.
those gonna happen?
Watch. He's gonna show up. He's gonna show up for like Max's home race.
Can you like show up to Canada?
Hey, enchanté. If you
Okay.
are watching or listening, hey, invite us. Hey, everyone, go order enchanté rosé.
Guys, go order enchanté. No,
This is not sponsored.
But please.
This is not sponsored, but please sponsor us.
I'll show you everything I own. I own so much.
Please, if you're listening.
Maddie's stuff is in the other room that I bought.
And
for
I'm getting
her.
it in circa, literally, guys, 1 month until me and Stella are back together.
1 month? You're gonna get. I can't wait for the Disney episode. like we're a sitcom in the early 2000s.
Yeah, you guys aren't gonna know where we're gonna be when we record this episode. It'll be a surprise for all of our viewers. But we will be recording an episode while we're together in Disney, so.
And also the Canada episode.
Oh, shit. Hey, Taylor, I know you're listening. Sarah,
Taylor,
you might be.
Sarah, maybe.
Sarah,
Do you guys want to be on the podcast?
Hey, you guys want to be?
Okay.
You guys want to be on the podcast? Special episode, Patreon.
We have to start
Do I
that.
hear a Patreon calling? Do I hear a Patreon?
What if we started one of those? What's the opinion on that?
Yeah, can you guys drop opinions in the Spotify comments or in the
YouTube YouTube comments. Does Apple Podcasts have comments? I figured out how to use that.
I don't know. I know for sure that Spotify does, but we haven't turned off. We'll turn them on. You can call us the hottest people in the world also in the Spotify comments.
Literally.
And the YouTube comments too. You can call us hot, so.
You can.
That's cool.
Call me whatever you want. No.
No. And hard stop. On that. Yep. And that's a full break to the floor. Yep. And we're moving on. Formation lap. Okay, we're not even in the race yet, guys. Formation lap. We're starting formation lap, and Isack Hadjar into the wall. Tell me why it's your shed. Tell me why.
I'm so sad.
Tell me why.
Tell me
why. Tell me why. I was watching the onboard. I rewatched just Isaac's onboard. I was watching the race, but I rewatched this morning Isaac's onboard, and it is the most gut-wrenching thing I have ever seen in my life, because he is literally like hitting himself in the thighs, and then like he's getting out of the car, and I knew that he was crying. Like I knew, and then like last night when I was watching it live, I knew he was crying, and it made me want to actually
I wish I could go to Melbourne and give him a hug, but he did get a hug.
And the marshals were so nice. The marshals were so sweet. It was so cute. But he did get a hug.
He got a hug. He got a hug from his hero's dad.
Anthony Hamilton left the Ferrari garage on his son's debut after this crash to give Isack I'm done.
It's so poetic for Isack to, not even get to start his debut race in F1. Have this thing where we all know Lewis Hamilton is his GOAT. No matter how much Red Bull wants us to think that it was Max Verstappen, that man was shaking meeting Lewis Hamilton for the first time. That is his GOAT. And to not only have the opportunity now in his career to reach the point in his career where he is racing against the man he looked up to, but for that man's father to leave one of his son's biggest debuts ever for driving with Ferrari, like that's the dream for so many people, Lewis Hamilton included, wasn't it?
Yeah. Honest to God, I literally could not do it. I was about to cry watching that because, one, I am starting my period. Fuck you. And second off, it was gut-wrenching. It was absolutely so horrific. Like, oh my God. And Anthony obviously was telling him, like, it'll be okay. And, like, he's fine. oh God, it was a beautiful moment. And Isack was crying, and that made me so sad for him. I also am a full-time Racing Bulls stan at this point. Those are my two teams.
Oh, 100%.
Do as you will with that information.
I love the between last year and this year, the timeline of Racing Bulls is like average height man who's very happy with very short man who's very angry. Very short man who's very angry with average height man who, no comment. And then very short man who's very angry and very short man who's very angry.
Isack has moved me in ways I did not know I
that
could
is
be
my
moved,
baby
because I
goal.
have been locked in. I have been locked in with Ferrari for so long. I did not know that I could be moved by another team like that. And Yuki, I've always had a soft spot in my heart for Yuki. Like, he deserved the Red Bull seat, and I will continue to say that all year.
And he proved it. Oh my God, he proved it, though.
Yes. I did not know that a rookie could move me in this way. But he has moved me, and I'm coming out now as a Racing Bulls stan. So
this year, at the very least this year, I feel
just
like
this year.
I will follow Yuki Tsunoda and Isack Hadjar wherever they end up.
That is true.
That is
true.
My next Nico Hulkenberg.
Yeah.
Speaking of, though, I don't wish ill on anyone, really. I'm a very kind person. Helmut Marko, I hope there's a special place in hell for you.
Helmut Marko, when I find you.
Helmut Marko, when I find you.
In 1 hour from now, you will be coughing.
We're never going to get a sponsorship from these guys.
No, and that's okay.
But maybe then we'll never get to meet Isack or Yuki.
Oh, we're meeting Isack and Yuki. Yes, ma'am. I'm just kidding. This is all alleged. This is all a joke.
This is all alleged.
Allegedly.
This is silly.
Allegedly.
Actually, I don't really care.
Allegedly.
I don't really care. We love those two so much that I think they can look over us thinking ill of what even is Helmut Marko to Red Bull.
He is from what I could understand about his position, he's like a talent finder. He's like an agent.
Oh, is he?
So he goes out.
Is he? How much money did Liam Lawson's management pay him?
Okay, but he found Seb. So, that's his, highlight. When I Wikipedia'd it, he found Seb.
Okay. And Checo Perez is the one who told them to sign Isack Hadjar.
Yep.
To their junior program.
So, now that we're done talking our shit, we're going to go over the 5 DNFs. Carlos Sainz.
Williams.
Carlos Sainz, who races for Williams.
Carlos Sainz, who races for Williams.
For Williams. Gabriel Borratello, who races for Sauber.
Bortoletto.
Fernando Alonso. Bortoletto?
Bortoletto. And
Bortoletto.
My poor brain.
I'm going to call him from Gabby from this way out.
Gabriel Bortoletto. I can't remember what it's called. But he has a nickname in, I believe, Brazilian Portuguese, and it means butterfly, and that moved me. And it, is very close to his last name, and I'll try to remember what it is.
I love that.
But that moved me.
Fernando Alonso.
He seems like a sweet boy.
Fernando Alonso, who drives for Aston Martin. Liam Lawson, who drives for Red Bull Racing. Oracle, not the juniors.
Oracle Red Bull Racing. And not Racing Bulls, because Visa Cash App left.
2 different teams. Yep. And
thanks,
Jack
Daniel Ricciardo.
Doohan.
Son of, what the fuck is his dad's first name? Mick?
I don't remember, but
his dad, wow.
Mick is named after him.
I was going to say, how are we going to say I can't remember his name when Mick Schumacher is named after Mick Doohan?
So if you guys, side tangent, if you guys didn't know, Jack Doohan and Mick Schumacher grew up together. They're very close. The Doohan family and the Schumacher family, very close. Fun fact, Michael bought Jack his first kart.
He did.
which moved me in ways I didn't know I could be moved.
Yeah, Mick Schumacher is named after
Yeah.
MotoGP champion Mick Doohan.
Yep.
It's very nice.
They
very
are
sweet.
very, yeah.
A lot of people are like, wow, Michael named his kid Mick after himself. That's so iconic. No, he's named after his best friend. No. That's so sweet.
Moved me in ways I didn't know. So
God.
sweet.
Does Jack Doohan does Jack Doohan know German? Or did he just like somehow avoid that?
That's a really good question that we can ask him when Alpine invites us to their garage.
Honestly, Jack Doohan... Okay, Isack Hadjar has moved me in ways I never expected. Jack Doohan is still... honestly, all of these rookies have moved me... Like, I feel like a mother.
Yeah.
I feel like a mother duck. These are my ducklings.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
Liam Lawson is not a rookie. I'm
Liam
so
Lawson is
sorry.
not a rookie. Sorry, guys.
I'm so sorry. In the same way, like, every podcast is allowed their... It's like a hall pass. They're
It's
allowed
their
one driver that they can hate. Yeah, like Red
For
Flags
Carlos-
podcast, Carlos Sainz.
It's
Us,
Carlos
Liam
Sainz.
Lawson.
Us, Liam Lawson. And that's that on that.
Liam Lawson is not a rookie,
Okay.
but
Yeah,
the other five have moved me, and I am their mother duckling, and I need to protect each of them. Jack Doohan was my rookie from the start, in part because he finally got out of reserve jail.
So, I just want to say also, real quick, this is not hate to Lando, but he had a very good start.
He did.
It was very, like, he stayed. He stayed in position, which I was not expecting.
He is now 2 for how many races well,
I don't know.
did he stay in position?
Yeah, for a
was
little bit.
someone
And he won the
giving
race.
order?
He won the race. He won the race. He won the race from... He got P1. So.
Wait, okay. Now, really quick question, because they got rid of fastest lap.
Yes, correct.
So a Grand Slam was
I thought
fastest
that
lap.
starts in 2026.
No, they already got
I
rid
thought
of
that's
it.
2026.
No, they already got rid of
Oh.
it, I think.
God damn it. Daniel Ricciardo, your aura.
He haunts
Daniel
the
Ricciardo,
narrative.
your
My
mark.
goat haunts the narrative, just like Sebastian Vettel.
Well, maybe we're considering a Grand Slam now, like sprint win, pole position,
like-
quali, maybe.
Maybe, but
or,
at the same time, that
race
would
win,
that
sorry.
would leave like Grand Slams to like only like sprint weekends. And there's 6 of those.
Dude, I don't know.
So, like,
I don't know what we're doing. Can
Does
someone let us
Does
know?
a Grand Slam even exist anymore? No?
No, maybe
I
not.
guess.
I don't know.
Or like, is it just pole and then you win? Because if that's it, then that's like kind of boring, especially if like Max Verstappen gets pole. Or Lando Norris gets pole.
I don't know. Let's talk real quick about McLaren while we're on the topic. We're just gonna go over all the McLaren stuff while we're on the topic of McLaren. Because I don't want to talk about it after this. It's the first race. Okay, season opener, Oscar's home race, and we're already pulling the team orders.
No,
We're already pulling team orders.
first race of the season. And listen, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm sure part of the reason they're pulling out team orders this early is because they didn't pull them out when they were actually in contention for the driver championship. So they want to try to do that as early as possible, like they probably...
Correct.
For the first time, I'm gonna say it, they have established a first and second driver, something that McLaren swore up and down that they would not do.
Seb Mark.
So,
Anyways.
What we may watch again is Seb Mark, and I've seen a lot of people who have made this comparison and have then seen other people be like, why are they comparing? Like, this is only because Mark Webber, so Seb Mark, Sebastian Vettel, and Mark Webber, way back when they were at Red Bull, Sebastian Vettel was number 1 driver, Mark Webber was number 2 driver. Mark Webber hated his life there for that reason, because he wasn't allowed to race.
I do have real quick, while we're on the topic.
Okay.
I do have a little document that I've been collecting, titled Multi 21.
Multi 21.
So we're just gonna talk about this real quick. Because
the
this
brief
is
overview.
direct parallel right
This
here.
is the very brief overview, and I'm more than
Okay.
positive we will have a whole episode dedicated to Multi-21 because I'm
Yes, we will.
fascinated by it.
Okay, the year is 2013. We're at the Malaysia Grand Prix. Okay. Second race of the year. So this is literally like, here we are again.
History
Here we are
is
again.
apparently made to
Okay.
repeat itself.
This is literally crazy because this is exactly what happened, and it's so scary. Okay, we're on lap 44 of this race. Okay, Malaysia, 2013.
Mm-hmm.
About a 0.5 second gap between the Red Bulls,
Right.
with Mark leading the race.
Okay.
Sebastian keeps pushing Mark, trying to overtake any place. Okay, lap 46 they battle, switching positions twice before Sebastian finally took the lead. The same lap, Nico and Lewis are battling for third and fourth. Okay? Red Bull asked Seb and Mark to save the engines and roll into a 2-1 finish. Seb took this as an opportunity to race Mark with a turned-down engine, not following team orders, and the quote, multi-map 21. Okay? Sebastian, you need to give him room to hold position. Multi-21, Seb. Multi-21. Angrily drinks water bottle in the cool-down room. That is a very brief overview of Multi-21. Most awkward podium celebration I have ever seen, by the way.
My favorite moment from that whole era is specifically the press conference. I don't know what race it was after. The press conference where Mark Webber slams his water down.
We will have a full breakdown. I hope you guys know Sebastian Vettel is like our GOAT. We will be talking about I will be talking about Seb at Ferrari because
I do love
the narrative.
Mark Webber.
And I also love Mark Webber. So we'll dive more into this, but again, here we are with a 0.5 or less second gap between two team drivers, and you're asking Oscar Piastri to hold position. And then he says, I'm faster. Why am I holding? Real of you, Oscar. You diva. Keep going. Okay. Seb Mark.
Right. So, this comparison started late last year when I believe it was the Papaya Rules race was when this had started, and people were like, it's not looking too good over there. And then we start this year. Oscar has provisional pole. Everyone in Australia loses their minds. Everyone at that race is so happy. Less than 5 seconds later, that's taken away from them. And Lando gets pole, which good for him. You know, I'm not knocking him in any way, shape, or form. He should not just give his teammates home race to him. But also, the first race of the season isn't going to have a lasting impact in the same way the race that Oscar won was going to have on...
Yeah.
It's just because of the time frame. There are still 23 other races for Lando to get points if they really want to be in contention for constructors and for drivers championship. So very early on, people already started the Seb Mark comparison. And sure, part of that was probably because Mark Webber is Oscar Piastri's manager. Like, that's
yeah,
known,
if you guys didn't know.
very known. For those of you who didn't know,
Yeah.
somehow, Mark Webber, former racing driver Mark Webber, is now a motorsport manager and is Oscar Piastri's manager.
Yeah. Hence why a lot of people talk about why Oscar will never go to Red Bull. He will never switch to Red Bull.
Never.
Never.
If we see him go to Red Bull, it would be because Max Verstappen has left.
Yeah.
That is the only way I can see him going to Red Bull, is if it's after Max is gone, because Max.
Yeah, me too.
Unless Max will always be the number one for that team, and we could go on a whole other tangent about the fact that car is fucked, but it doesn't matter because Max Verstappen could get a literal tractor into second place, like a farm tractor. He could go to Perth. He could go to Perth to Daniel Ricciardo's farm, grab a tractor, bring it back to Melbourne, and still get to second place. Now, with this comparison to Sebmark, a lot of people have taken it literally in the sense of comparing Lando Norris to Sebastian Vettel. Baby girl, that's not the case. And I know, sometimes it's a little hard to separate the art from the artist. Sometimes you shouldn't separate the art from the artist. In this case scenario, we like to think of it as literature. It's our Bible. It's our don't cite the sacred text to me, I was there when they were written. So, Brosades, great example. That's just Romeo and Juliet in real life. Whether you interpret them as romantic or platonic, that is still arguably a Romeo and Juliet retelling.
Even platonically, hey, because I don't want anyone calling me an AO3 weirdo, okay?
True.
Which you're not weird if you go on AO3, okay?
True.
It may be in my search history, but
we all read fanfic, even if you deny it.
We all read it, okay? Brosades, even if platonic, literally horrifying, shocking, vomiting, shitting myself. How tragic that story is.
Yeah, that one sucks.
Similar to Romeo and Juliet.
Yes. And so, if we take this Shakespeare comparison and move it over to Sebmark, have you seen The Lion King? Because that's just Hamlet dumbed down. This is Motorsports Hamlet.
Yep.
And that's the comparison that's being made. It's the fact that a team is clearly prioritizing one driver over the other. Or, similarly, your teammate is not being a teammate. Or similarly, calls by your team are not making sense. So, for example, hypothetically speaking, say your teammate is 0.5 seconds ahead of you, and you're about to enter the DRS zone. For those of you who are new here, that's the drag reduction system.
Drag reduction
Make
system. Little
car go faster.
Little wing open.
Little wing. Make car go
open.
fast. Make car go fast.
Little wing on back.
Jensen was the first to press the DRS button.
Press the DRS button. Wow, that's a really long last name. It's a really long middle name.
It's a really long middle name. Jensen was the first to press the DRS button. The DRS button can only be pressed if you're within 1 second of the driver in front of you.
Yes.
So, hypothetically speaking, you're with your teammate. You want to win because you're a race car driver. And race car drivers would like to win, especially if, hypothetically speaking, you're at your home race. That would be really cool. And hypothetically speaking, on top of that, the only time someone from that country that has stepped onto that podium got taken away from them. Hypothetically speaking. So at this point in time, no Australian, hypothetically, has stood on the podium. Now imagine you're getting ready to press your DRS button. You're getting ready to race your teammate, and overhead you hear your engineer tell you to keep position. It's lap 3, and you're being told to keep position at your home race, where you're within DRS, and you're the one going faster. It's not looking like seeds planting for success between teammates.
And I also just want to reiterate the fact, this is the first race of the season. This is the season opener. I understand team rules, respect team rules, and lineups and all of that. Papaya, whatever. I respect it. When we are mid-season, when we are fighting in contention for a championship, I understand, okay? Everyone needs to respect that fact. If one driver is ahead of the other in these standings, they have to fight for the most points. AKA, no more racing. Team orders. Like, that's how it is. That's how it is.
I would argue I would argue the first 10 races
Yeah.
are a free-for-all. No one, you are teammates
Yeah, low-key.
to get points for your team, but you are
Yeah.
individual racers, and that's how it should
Yep.
run. And then you,
Yeah.
as a team, can establish which of your drivers is more likely to be in contention.
Yeah. And even that, even just like championship standings, I know you get paid a lot of money if you are
Yes.
in the standings, like top
Yes.
10.
Yes.
So obviously teams like to use their money. The teams want their money. They want to buy things with their money, make a better car, obviously. It also ups chances for sponsorships. It's also a big thing. If you're a contender, I would argue top 10, you're going to get a bigger sponsorship, which, again, more money. Okay? But we're race 1. We are literally 30 laps in at this point.
Yeah.
What are we doing? What are we doing? We are 30 laps into the season. What are we doing? What are we doing? And I also just want to say, while we're on this topic,
Yes.
we need to talk about Oscar's
I was gonna say,
inspirational.
Oscar Piastri. Oscar Piastri
Oscar
has Oscar Piastri. There's just something about his energy that I love.
Yeah.
But I have an anti-McLaren agenda. So actually,
Yep.
I know, Oscar, I know you just signed an extension. Can you move so that I can be loud?
And that's no hate to, also, I just want to say, that is no hate to Lando Norris
No,
whatsoever.
no,
It is
no.
literally just McLaren.
It's
It is
just
Zach
McLaren.
Brown.
Like, I want Lando to leave McLaren, even. I just, like, I just want to see the downfall. I know
Yeah.
they were a midfielder, and they're, like, only just now having their rise to the top. I want them to be bad again. And I want someone else to put Haas.
Yeah.
Put Haas up there. Anyway, Oscar.
Anyways,
His
Oscar's,
race was almost over.
dude, insane. This was insane.
Like-
I hope you guys know. I was screaming when I saw Piastri,
Pia.
start dropping positions. And I remember I was like, why is he dropping? And then I was sitting next to my friend. My
Cut.
friend goes, look. And I was like, oh shit, he's in the grass. He's in the grass. Oh, we're going backwards. Flipped himself around, got back on track, and still ended
In the
right
points.
outside of points.
No,
No,
he
I
was
think
in
he
the
was up.
points.
He's.
No, he was in the points. I think he was 10.
Hold on, I'm looking now. Holy shit, he was 9.
He was 9. So and
In
then,
the grass,
and then
literally
he
back to the
had
grid.
he had a beautiful overtake on Hamilton, I believe, was who he had a wonderful like it was art. That man, if I could say, I'm going to say confidently, unless we unfortunately have another situation like another Australian race car driver, that man is going to get a multiple World Driver Championship wins.
Oh, 100%.
in his
100%.
career. He's
Oscar is the thing about Oscar that I really enjoy is that he keeps it all internalized.
Yes.
He has a very good poker face, right?
Yes.
Like he's calm,
He
he's collected.
has-
He's a very calm driver as compared to like look at like Yuki. Like,
yes.
Yuki very
Him and
outspoken
his-
on the radio,
His
very
anger issues, I love them.
he has, yeah. Oscar, very quiet, very nonchalant, very internalized. He keeps everything inside. He's similar to the Irish. I'm realizing.
Yeah.
He keeps it's like an Irish Catholic. He keeps everything inside. I'm Irish Catholic, by the way, guys. I'm allowed to say this. He keeps everything internalized. And then he gets a little diva-y on the radio.
Oh,
he
yes.
lets it out. Like
I love when
confessional.
he's-
He lets it out.
I love when he has a diva moment.
He has a diva moment, and then you're like, oh, I remember. Oscar Piastri leaves no victims.
Oscar Piastri leaves no victims. Oscar, like
He
has
commits crimes.
and
I love
Max Verstappen is known for one of his quotes saying, "Of course I'm going to think I'm the best. There's no point in being out there if I don't." Essentially, I don't remember the exact quote. And And I think one of the drivers on the grid who really embodies that without actually saying it out loud right now is Oscar Piastri.
It's Oscar, yeah.
Like, he clearly knows that he is one of the best, but I think to some extent. I think he's confident in himself, but I don't think he's quite confident in himself to, like, we're watching it happen in real time. Like, last year or the year prior when he first replaced Daniel Ricciardo at McLaren. Daniel Ricciardo. Daniel Ricciardo, Italian. I think he was just honored to have this opportunity to be able to do this. And now, in things like him turning around and going, but I'm faster, we're watching him start to fight for himself. And be like, I am his equal. I am everyone's equal. Like, I might be polite, but I am also one of the top 20 racing drivers in the world.
Yeah.
Also, I love his sister.
And I also love his sister.
That whole family.
I love both sisters.
Nicole,
biggest Yuki stan there is. Oh my god, I know Nicole was freaking during the race. I need to see Nicole's reaction.
There's someone on TikTok who has like the Sunny Angels like drivers that they like draw.
Yes.
And Hattie got one of Yuki for Nicole.
I love her.
I'm obsessed.
Hey, Nicole you want to go on another F1 podcast?
We're way more fun than those guys.
Hey. But Friday Booze,
also,
if you want to pick this up,
let
me
me
know.
Joke. That's a joke. To Matt and Brian. That's a joke.
Matt and Brian, hey, we met you one time. Hey. Jen?
Yeah, and then you never answered my email.
So we created our own podcast. Anyways. Also, while we're on the topic of McLaren.
Yes.
I need to talk about it. I must still. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I must talk.
Everyone makes, in the wise words of Hannah Montana, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days.
Okay, Norris, hey. Hey, Lando, hey. Just real quick, like, can we not diminish all of the hard work that the mechanics and the engineers have done over winter break, making sure that you have a rocket ship to drive this season? Because, for those who didn't see it, might be on a different side of Twitter than I am, that's okay.
That's fine.
During
Live your truth.
an interview, a journalist was talking to Lando and said, like, you guys really had a good pace. You have the car. And he said, no. All of you in the media want to talk about is the car this. No, me and Oscar had a phenomenal drive. But, and then he said something about how the other cars were really far behind, but that he doesn't have, like, a great car. And I just want to say, you put an 18-second gap on Max Verstappen. Like, I just want to establish that.
Bro,
that was not you. That's not just you.
Dude, put an RB20 gap on Max Verstappen.
And you're saying you don't have a car. Buddy, you and Oscar both have rocket ships. Like, that's just how it is right now. And
I don't know.
That's how it's going to be.
Like, obviously.
And with the brake system, that also saved their tire degradation compared to the rest of the grid, because even Max was saying that he was struggling with tires just like the rest of the grid. McLaren didn't have that. McLaren had the pace. Mm-hmm. And the reason, partially, the tire degradation. I don't know.
Based off, I guess we could put a picture. Based off of what it looks like. So looks legal, according to Mattie. I don't know legal. Cars.
It does look legal. So full carbon fiber brake duct unit, right? What we're looking at here. There is cooling elements in here for more airflow, okay? More airflow means, one, brakes, you're saving the brakes more, okay? They're getting constantly cooled. When you see, like, a regular car, when we look at a regular brake and rotor on a regular car, anyone can go look at their car and see this. most non-modded cars, you're going to have just a standard circle rotor with standard ceramic brakes. That's what it is. There's no drilling in the actual rotor itself, okay? It's crazy that I'm explaining this, okay? There's rotors that are drilled and there's rotors that are slotted, okay? Some rotors are just drilled, some rotors are just slotted, and there's also drilled and slotted rotors. Drilled and slotted rotors you'll see on modded cars mostly. They put carbon ceramic brakes on their car, like pads, and they have drilled and slotted rotors to help the rotor stay cooler and the brake pads cooler because they have more power going to the tires, right? Which means they're heating up more. It's hot, okay? McLaren has these little slits, from what I can tell, that are getting more airflow into the brake, okay, and cooling down, the brake, to the tires, okay? One hot tire equal more degradation on a slick, right? Same with a regular car, okay? Hotter the brakes, they're gonna fail more. They're not gonna be to full working capacity. You keep airflow going to the brakes, just like slotted and drilled rotors, same with the tires. You're creating less degradation and less you're still getting the same amount of power, but it's not going to fail as easy. So they can last longer on tires compared to the Red Bull. So they're getting 2 more laps while Max has to pit. If that makes sense. Right. So essentially, the less tire degradation we have, the more laps we can do. Stella.
So for those of you like me who are stupid, hole in brake system make air go cold, make tire go longer.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
You're welcome.
Yeah. No, literally. That's literally it.
That was perfect, actually.
That's literally it.
You're all welcome.
So therefore they can last longer on tires, therefore more laps on top of when someone is pitting, so.
So, no, I guess they would still have to pit, because I was going to say, in, those races,
they'd still have to pit.
One pit. They're required to pit, right? At least once?
Yes.
Okay.
Monaco, I think they did add an additional. I know they did. I know there's so many pit stops this race. I know that Monaco for sure they added an additional. No, they added an additional pit stop to make it fun, to make it whimsy.
Wow. You know how else they could make it fun? Make the car smaller.
Oh, they're doing that next year. We'll go over that before the 2026 season.
We'll go over that at some point later. But maybe make it so that you could actually overtake in Monaco. Okay, yeah. That would be my favorite parade is the Monaco Grand Prix.
Okay, we're gonna talk about the midfield real quick. Who made it out of the midfield?
Yeah, who made it out? Really? Who made it out of the bloodbath? It's like the Hunger Games cornucopia up in that bitch. It was crazy.
Yuki fucking Tsunoda. I don't think you got the amount of joy I felt within 15 seconds for Yuki. Holy shit! When Yuki was P3, I was. Oh my god! I was going ham. I was wearing my Yuki shirt.
Tsunoda podium immediately.
I need a Yuki Tsunoda podium so
put
bad.
Him up there.
He did so amazing. His drive was absolutely phenomenal. I'm so proud of Yuki Tsunoda. My boy.
Once again, something very poetic. Yuki Tsunoda being passed up for Liam Lawson to get that Red Bull seat after Liam had maybe 11 races and Yuki had a whole season prior with, at the time, V-Carb. Were they something else before then? They were something else.
He actually had 2 seasons, so he was with AlphaTauri. So
I was gonna say, was he AlphaTauri?
So he was AlphaTauri with Pierre, and him and Pierre are locked in. Him and Pierre have a cute little relationship. They're so cute. I love them.
Yes, they're besties.
Yuki was with AlphaTauri with Pierre, and then Yuki Tsunoda and Pierre Gasly. And then he was with Daniel. No, wait. Yes, he was. Daniel.
No. There's someone in
Who
between
was-
there. Nick DeVries.
Oh yeah, forgot forgot about Nick. Nick DeVries. Nick DeVries.
DeVries? Something. He wasn't there very long.
I forgot.
And then he got replaced
Yeah, because
by
Red
Daniel
Bull gets
Ricciardo.
yeah, and then Daniel Ricciardo, and then
Liam
now
Lawson.
and then Liam
No.
Lawson.
And then Liam Lawson. And then Daniel Ricciardo again after
Ricciardo
Daniel.
again.
So Daniel broke his arm
his arm,
because
yeah.
his choice was either crash into Oscar or crash into the wall. He crashed into the wall, broke his arm, and then Liam Lawson took over the races, and then Daniel came
Yep.
back after his
Yep.
injury healed, and then
Yep.
Daniel cut ties, as we established last
Too much
episode.
to follow.
It's
much
like
to
a
follow,
soap
guys.
opera over there.
It really is. It's like days of our lives.
Drive
it's like
to
8
Survive.
seasons of days in our life.
Drive
Oh
to
my
Survive,
God.
but it's actually just covering the Red Bull Junior team, and it would be
Holy moly.
just as interesting, if not actually, it'd be more interesting. I don't even watch
Yeah.
Drive to Survive, and I could tell you that it would be way more interesting to just cover the Red Bull Junior team.
Anyways,
Always.
Yuki did an amazing
Singapore.
job. Poetic. Also, another poetic win for us. That'd be Alex Albon. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Alex Albon.
Another
Albon.
another driver. who was
A
once
win
on
for the
Red Bull.
lesbians. A win for the
Yes.
gays.
Oh, he loves Chapel Roan.
Hey, that's what happens when Chapel Roan releases a new song.
You're right. But something else so profound
So
about
profound.
it.
And Red Bull has
Also
a
got
problem,
dropped
and it's
by
Alex
Red Bull.
Albon.
Ah!
Red Bull
And you
has
know
a
what?
problem, and it's Alex
Dude,
Albon.
I hope more than anything this year someone gets to say that sentence, but like now its meaning is reversed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alex
Alex
Red Bull
Albon,
has a
you-
problem,
you
and
amaze
it's
me.
Alex Albon.
You amaze me. You amaze me, sweetie.
And with
You
that,
amaze me.
and you
And
know,
with that,
something about that though is Carlos Sainz and how happy he was. Like, I've never seen a driver so happy to crash out of a race because he
yeah.
then got to play Strategist Simulator. Like, he
yeah,
He,
and,
like,
and he knew how fucked up Ferrari would be.
he put on his headset and he was like, okay, so here's what we're gonna do. And everyone was like, yes, sir, whatever you say. And then Alex got like, what, P5?
P5.
Because
P5.
Kimi Antonelli had
Yeah.
a thing.
Wait, hold
I
on.
can't
Am I
think.
still in
Can-
qualifying? I just want to make. He
No.
got a 5-second penalty for the
He
safety
did,
car
but then
infringement.
they took it away. So he went back to P4.
What?
Yes.
Well, since when?
Earlier today.
Oh my God! Can
Yeah. So
Hey
so,
stewards, can we just keep it?
so he got
keep it a buck?
he got the 5. So Kimi Antonelli, one of 2 rookies who made it
Again.
out. Another one, massive Antonelli to get this many points, and he started in the back of the grid, and also like most other rookies crashed. So he's doing
Antonelli,
amazing
you
things.
amaze me, sweetie.
He's doing amazing
Antonelli,
things.
you amaze me. Kimi Antonelli is what we're talking about.
Kimi
Who drives for
Antonelli.
Mercedes, by the way? Mercedes, he's a
Mercedes
first-year
driver.
rookie.
Kimi
Alex Albon,
Antonelli.
who drives for Williams. Sorry, let me just
Um,
put that in there. It's a lot, guys.
we'll get it.
Amazing.
That's fine.
Albon, no notes. Carlos,
Albon.
amazing. Carlos, you need to just be an engineer, babe. Or a strategist or something.
I want them to do one race where they just like throw in their reserve and Carlos Sainz plays strategist for a day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just want to see like that impact because
I think he's happier,
Like,
like
the-
you said.
the reason he just seems so much happier sitting in that seat.
Yeah.
I don't understand. There are a lot of Carlos fans that are very upset about him having left Ferrari, having his contract not being renewed. But Ferrari wasn't taking anything he was saying seriously
Say it.
when he would come to things about the car. And Mattie, I love you. I am Schrodinger's Tifosi. They are too comfortable in being a top team, and their strategy
I don't want to talk about
is
it.
ass.
I don't want to talk about it.
We'll
No,
get
we're gonna
there.
talk about their strategy. We're gonna
get
we're gonna
there.
end this episode on Ferrari's
I need to
strategy
have my
because
moment
I can't
first.
do this
We'll
anymore.
get there. And it's clear that if they had listened to Carlos while Carlos was there, probably about a lot of things, you would have already had your constructors and drivers championship. back. Like, it would have gone
That
back
ain't on Carlos
to Mario
Sainz. That
already.
ain't on Carlos Sainz, baby.
Well, no, it's not only on Carlos Sainz, but I'm sure he gave a lot of insight that a lot of people didn't listen to because they are so comfortable in being a top 4 team. It's kind of like Red Bull, kind of like how Max for 2 years now has been saying, hey, our car is awful, and no one is listening to him because he still wins. So, like, Ferrari has this idea in their head that they are the team to be a part of in F1, which they still are, that they're not actively working to be better. It seems.
This is
I
not a
could be
safe
wrong.
space for my thoughts. It's not a safe
be
space
wrong.
for my thoughts. Yeah. Yeah,
What do you
we're
mean
gonna
by
go
that?
over. If I wanted to be honest, there'd be a lot of this podcast cut out. Guys, just FYI. A lot of cuts
What's the gist
to the
of
real.
it? Is it that
You
I'm
know the
correct?
gist of it.
Is it
No.
that I'm correct?
You know the gist of it.
Do I? Oh, the fact that you hate Carlos?
You can't say that. Now we have to clip this.
The Williams this year and the Williams last year, like, have already scored more points in one race. And I'm sorry, that has to do with Carlos Sainz. Like,
He should be a strategist.
he
is what
should
we're
be a
saying.
strategist. Is not that he isn't a good race car driver. That's not what
No.
we're saying. Carlos Sainz is a
No.
very good race car driver. He's very good at making his car go very fast. I feel like his talent could be utilized better in a strategist position. But more importantly than any of that, Nico
more
Hulkenberg
importantly-
got points in a Sauber. My goat. Okay. It's confessional time. I slept through the race. Because I had been up since 6 o'clock that morning. I opened at my part-time job. My friend was over. A whole bunch of reasons I slept through that race. I have been thinking about sleeping through multiple races if it means Nico Hulkenberg gets points in a goddamn Sauber. But at the same time, I don't want to sleep through Nico Hulkenberg getting points. I have so many friends who were, like, Mattie was, like, waiting patiently for me to wake up and see that Nico got points. I had so many friends who were like, I was checking to see if you were tweeting yet. I was like, I was asleep.
Yeah.
Or else I would have been so obnoxious. I have green everywhere. I love him so much.
You know how they turn the river green?
That
That's
is-
actually for Nico points.
That was for Nico
tomorrow. That's
points.
not. That
has
is not for
nothing
St.
to do
Patrick's
with the
Day.
Irish. Nothing to do with the Irish.
No, it
I would like
has everything to do with the Germans.
with one German in particular, and the Swedes,
One German.
because that's where King Sauber is. I would like to supply you with some statistics about this, okay? Nico Hulkenberg scored more points in his first race at Sauber than Sauber has in the last 30 races.
Hell yeah! Hell
And-
yeah!
And I need, for those of you who don't know the Nico Hulkenberg lore,
Oh.
it's fascinating. 2, he has never been in, like, a top car. He holds the records for the most race starts without podiums. And I think that's iconic. 2, if he was in a top car,
talent.
he would have so many. He was at Lotus, which is now Aston, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Renault.
I know he was a Mercedes junior driver
Yes.
at one point.
He started
2.
racing when he was 10 and, like, won a lot. Like, there's a reason, even if it's, like, between being a driver and being a reserve, he's been consistently employed. And there's a reason for that. He probably would have had a podium by now if he was in the top team.
Yeah.
I need his podium so bad. That's gonna hit like a drug.
It's gonna hit
But-
that's gonna hit, and I can't wait to witness you
That's going to hit
post
like
that.
a
Not even the
For-
podium, just you.
For everyone, I would like everyone to know, when we went to Coda last year, we went to the Haas Red Bull fan stage, and we just kept waving like this at all the drivers.
Oh my God. for everyone who's not watching on YouTube and is listening to this on Spotify,
we're doing grandma
little granny
waves.
waves.
Like
hey,
like
thank
your
you.
your grandma is watching you perform on stage and is like trying to wave at you.
I started doing this was because I like had been doing it at work, going thank you to my coworkers, like the maintenance men that are like old, right? Like maintenance men, like 40-year-old maintenance men, and I kept going thank you every time they do something for me. So then when we go to Coda, I was like, you know what? Let's just wave at the drivers like that. Who cares? I'm not even kidding. Came at literally every single driver that spotted us waved back, and Ollie was obsessed with us.
Could not stop looking at us.
It was hilarious.
We would watch him try so hard not to laugh at us every time.
And this was Mika. This was when he was doing the like Mika Hakkinen interview with like on the fan stage
F1
after
Live.
post race. This was F1 Live post race. Legitimately, he'd wave at everyone in that crowd and kept trying not to laugh. And I'm pretty sure that the woman up there told him, "You gotta stop." Because it was too much. Like, he kept doing it too often and not listening to Mika Hakkinen talk.
But we got both Haas drivers to wave at us.
Yeah.
And I fully started crying.
Max Verstappen did not look at us once, by the way.
No.
I just want to add, was it Checo at that point still?
Yeah.
I don't even remember.
It was.
Checo did look. Checo gave us a little hey. Checo gave everyone a little hey. Max Verstappen was too focused on Red Bull in one hand. Not even kidding. Red Bull in one hand, microphone in the other. Did not give a fuck.
Well, he was also talking to Nico the whole time.
Yeah.
I think.
I love it. I love those little German. I didn't know. Also, fun, crazy fact. Say it.
Oh, so Nico Hulkenberg and Max Verstappen can communicate with each other in 3 languages, and Mattie had no idea.
Crazy.
They both know German, Dutch, and English, so they can shit talk about you in so many ways if they wanted to. Another fun statistic is 8 times he has finished either in the points or just outside the points in Australia. I'd also like everyone to know part of it is Nico will take a team, like a mid-tier team, and like make them better consistently. In the same way there's like that one photo of Carlos that's like every team he's been to has moved up. Nico Hulkenberg does that, but people don't notice it because he's in the midfield always. Like, he's the top scoring Haas driver ever.
I love that for you.
And this is the highest finish for Sauber in the last 60 races. 60! Woo! He did that in really 1. Good. That's my goat.
That's your goat.
That's my goat.
That is your goat.
Nico Hulkenberg, if you want to be on a podcast, you will be appreciated like no other here. And I will cry the whole time.
Let's talk about
Mattie
my
was
goats.
So I had the time of my life. Mattie wanted to die.
I was going through the 5 stages of grief because I was so happy for Yuki, and then I was watching Ferrari. And I just want to say, I did not choose this team. They chose me. The happiest moment of that race for me, besides Yuki's phenomenal drive, was Hammy 1, Lek 2. And it lasted for a good literal 10 seconds. It was 10 seconds, and it was the happiest I've ever been. Ferrari apparently doesn't know how to read the weather app.
No.
Apparently doesn't know how to read the weather app and doesn't know when to pit their drivers.
That either.
Lord, give me the strength to get through this season because,
things
my
can
God.
get better. Listen, I stand by things.
It's the first race of the season, also. It's literally the first race of the season.
It was the first race of the season,
but
and it was a shit show for literally everybody. Because Madison, I'm
yes,
having the time of my
also,
life. No, I'm having the time of my life because of Nico, but it's never going to happen again. He's in a Sauber. Like, this is a once in a lifetime race. Lewis Hamilton.
Lewis was having, I know, but Lewis and Ricky were beefing on radio, and it's not funny because it's not, but it's also kind of funny. This goes for everyone, including me. Like, I'm preaching to the choir here. we need to remember that Lewis went from being with a team and a engineer from the beginning. 13 years that you're with your race engineer, there's things that your race engineer doesn't need to tell you anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, Ricky, it's first race, man. Like, I think Lewis needs to understand that. Like, but also Ricky needs to understand you're not talking to Carlos Sainz anymore. Lewis doesn't need constant feedback about the car and how he's driving compared to Carlos. Like,
Yeah.
Ricky and Carlos had that. Carlos and Ricky always like talking about the car, talking about Carlos's performance, all of that. Lewis doesn't operate that way.
Mm-mm.
And Ricky needs to understand that.
I think that's a meeting that should have
off.
happened. That's a meeting that should have happened that never did. Because I don't think anyone took that into account.
Lewis was having a diva off on the radio.
Perfect.
Telling Ricky to shut the fuck up. Please. He said please afterwards. He was telling Ricky to shut the fuck up. But he said please afterwards every time. And then
did
at
he
the end of the
actually
race
say that
to
word?
cuss.
Because he's gonna get fined.
He did not. Well, he did cuss on radio. He did. I don't know what he said. They bleeped it out. They didn't even put the first initial. I don't know what he said. If someone knows, please let me know.
They never put the first initial.
He said, yeah, no problem. Just don't repeat everything, please. And then later in the race, lap 13, again, Ricky's talking to him. Lewis says, leave me to it, please. And then he says, yes, I know, leave me to it, please. Again. Lap 25. Please leave it. Yes, please leave it. Like, begging him to just shut up. And
yeah,
then,
him and Bono, like, barely talk to each other, don't they?
Yeah.
Bono and Lewis were on a Lewis initiates relationship, right? Like, they didn't...
Yeah.
Unless it was, like, an emergency.
Yeah.
Actually, knowing the fact that was the relationship Ricky and Carlos had makes the radio from last year where Carlos goes, Ricky, hello, so much funnier.
Yeah, that's literally what it is. Ricky, hello.
Ricky,
it was
hello.
So funny. That was fucking hilarious.
Ricky, this is not new. Which center is this? Hello?
Also, again, Leclerc being a... Chuck being a little diva. Chuck being a little diva. I have a seat full of water, like full of water. And then Brian goes... Brian goes, must be the water then. Must be. And then he asked, well, first it was... First it was... Yeah, he said, do I have a leakage? And then Brian goes, a leakage of what? And he goes, my seat is full of water. And then Brian, must be the water. And then he says, let's add that to the words of wisdom. Divas. My divas. My two divas.
Oh my god.
Funniest race radio. He was swimming in that seat.
That's not the first time.
That's
not the first time that has happened either, and I think it's so much funnier.
No, it's his water. It's his little... They had him swimming in that seat.
He had to learn how to swim somehow.
It was the first race. And I need to remember that.
That's the thing. And I think people everywhere, Madison included, are overacting a little too much for race 1. And maybe it's just because I'm like, I enjoy the midfield way too much, so I'm like, my expectations are always low. Like, I love Max Verstappen. Don't get me wrong, I love Max Verstappen. I don't have to worry about him, so my expectations always low. And also, as I said last week, I kind of love when he's not winning. So I have more fun when he's like trying to fight in the points, and I'm like, haha. Yeah. He has to work for this one. I love him. I love when he has to work for his job.
But guys, it's the first race of the season, and I think we did. I think it was not a good opener, but it was a beautiful. It was not a good race, but it was a good race. It was an entertaining race.
It was entertaining.
It was entertaining. And
I love an entertaining race.
Real quick, the new graphics.
Awful.
Why are we taking away the timing? Can we get the times back, please? The whole race. Why are we? only doing them at the end of the laps.
So
because I need to know.
I think it's because they have another subscription tier for F1 TV.
You're joking.
And I believe they might be on that tier.
Sorry, let me log on to my Tubi F1 Big Balls subscription so I can see the timing.
Yeah.
Tubi, Netflix, Big Balls. Like, what is F1 TV, Sky Sports?
It's F1 TV Premium.
I don't have premium. I paid $10.99 a month. I'm getting it next month, though. I already talked about this, guys. I'm upgrading. While Stella looks for this, the exclamation points, I kind of love her.
Yeah, live timing pages.
I love her.
You get live timing pages with premium.
Perfect. I'm getting premium. The exclamation points, slay. Slay. It's a slay. I like her. When someone's under investigation, just so you know. They now have a little yellow exclamation point.
Actually, that's
next
good.
to the name.
No, that's really good because I was always so confused.
And then if they get a penalty, it's red. It's in a red box saying that they got a penalty.
But more importantly,
isn't that a slay?
Do they still have them in jail if they get a penalty? Because I love those photos. Like that one picture of Max that is like him and like there's like lines behind him. And it's like unserved penalty plus 10 seconds or plus 20 seconds. However many.
I didn't see one. I didn't see it on the like live. Maybe it's on premium. I don't know. And the other thing that they slayed with was they had a weather alert in the bottom and it was rain clouds raining. I'll get a picture, we can insert it. And it was like a 3D graphic of these rain clouds raining and it said weather alert rain. And I was like, I love this. I was like, that slays. But the purple fastest lap, they did change the color. It's a weird magenta.
Oh, they do have fastest lap?
Yeah. They're like, I think they're showing who has fastest lap, but they're not
But they're not getting a point. Okay.
Yeah.
It's actually McLaren's fault, technically speaking, that we no longer get the fastest lap point. But we can get into that another time.
Yeah.
We've been talking for way too long. This is the longest pit stop ever, which is crazy considering you now get points for having the fastest. Well, now, next year you get points.
I just want to say that it was the first race of the season, guys.
It was the first race of the season.
No biggie. Unless you're Yuki Tsunoda.
Or Nico Hulkenberg.
Or
Alex Albon.
Okay, guys. You should subscribe to us on YouTube, Boxenstopp Pod. You should like us on Spotify. You should also follow us on Twitter.
You can find us... Here, let's make it easier. Ready? You can find us so many places, including YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Apple, and Spotify. Yeah. We are your pit stop every Tuesday.
I'm Mattie.
I'm Stella.
And we're Boxenstopp Pod.
Your next pit stop is Tuesday.
After China. Okay, bye.